Good evening, good evening. Truth Disclosure 369 in the house once again. Midnight the battle cap behind me, blended in the darkness and the shadows. Just want to get on here, share a few things. Um, Hopefully everyone is doing well despite all the madness that's going on. Just want to get on here and share a couple of words, with all genuineness. It's a lot going on, and you know, I pray that everybody is maintaining or being enlightened to a point where they can understand how to navigate through all of this stuff. So, with those that may come across this video, I greet you in the universal words of peace. So, we in this mess uh, day after day after day, and stuff happening. It's weird. I mean, if if people don't want to talk about the reality that these governments have sold out or have some other, it has to be some other operating um, system at work, because it's obvious that your local, your basic, your the normal operating factors out here, which is your government, and the officials, that the congressmen and all that. You would think that it would be at least some urgency with some of the stuff that's going on, but it's all it's all about he say, she say, politics, point the finger, rob Peter to pay Paul. And it's like all these years of all this madness going on one side, getting out another. And it's like this all over the planet. This is just America just got its own different style uh, of expressing it. And it's unbelievable. It's mind-boggling to me for a little bit. It's like, how can you not sit here and understand that there's other stuff at play? There's other stuff going on behind the scenes. Is stuff that people have been told that necessarily it doesn't have the truthfulness to it that we assume. Maybe some bits of truth surrounded by a bunch of lies as well. But it's obvious there's other stuff going on, and it's not just in this country. It's overseas. You got stuff going on. This whole uh, idea about a reset and everything. People should be wondering what the fuck is really going on. Excuse my language, but it's just really got to be said. What the fuck is really going on? And there's been a lot of people out here trying to give people the heads up, and at least put something else out there, a different perception of things that's kind of separate and different from the normal indoctrinated type of thinking. The normal is either this way or no way, or it's got to be, if it ain't this way, then it got to be that way, and they both hit it straight toward a brick wall. But it's got to be something else to the equation. I mean, you look at everything that's going on, from the trains to crashing, and all the railroads becoming uh you know ground zeros, but particularly the one in Ohio. I mean, you look at the stuff that the government is doing. It's almost, and they ain't showing. It's like they not picking and choosing. They letting it be known that they don't give a damn about people, unless you are balled up in some type of agenda that they have to keep running in order to keep themselves elected or electable. And it's like, man, it should be obvious now with all this stuff. You got people that don't give a damn about how much the word nuclear war get thrown around. and how much provoking and nitpicking a person have to do to try and stir that up, which makes no sense because if that happened, then it's adios. Who benefits off of that? Except for those that probably dipped and got in a bunker somewhere, while everybody else suffered through the calamity and the aftermath. And to the health crisis that's been going on, they don't care. These folks literally sit up here lying about everything they've been doing with COVID. They lying about the vaccines. So many mysterious occurrences happening. And it's like, when will people see that it's the ones that are still kind of love to sleep in kind of a make believe world, but the reality of it is, it's other stuff at play. It's other stuff at play uh, besides all our little grievances and all our little political standings and religious standpoints and um, social or lifestyle trends. It's more to it. It's more at play than all that stuff. And then the reality is, these folks know it. They're doing stuff. People are turning on one another, all type of stuff. They call it. It's like everything is being turned into uh, a stage show, a stage. The world's an open stage, and it's like we living in an actual movie. And the players are playing against, placing a bet against human beings, people in general, to at least have the ability to live in peace. And not only in peace, the ability to live not only in peace, but the ability to live with fairness, with the ability to gain abundance, and prosperity without all the rigmarole and all of the hidden this and middlemen and all these uh, normal ways that we've taken to do things. And it seemed like it's going down the toilet with the way people supposedly that's elected to do things, and the governments that's supposed to be there to help people or aid and articulate the needs of the people. And you see everything that's happening is against the people. In most of the countries, everything is against everybody. And the sad thing about it, at least in the other countries in Europe, you see a lot of people bucking. They getting out there in droves, shutting stuff down and saying, "Look, this can't keep going." From UK to France, to Spain, that all have been out there in other countries. And it seemed like the more this mess go down over here with just the inner workings and just the lies and the constant distractions, and if it's not obvious by now that it's a lot of propaganda being played across the board to ensnare people and to gaslight people into their passions, into their biases, they don't. What else? What else can what else is there to do? And when it comes to that, it's almost like the only remedy is how I feel is people gotta understand that unity is the only thing that's gonna bring us up out of this. And I just had to share this because if people don't understand, we need to wake up and look at one another as other human beings. Maybe look different, maybe dress different, maybe talk different, maybe have a different religion, maybe have this. Doesn't matter. When you come back, when it all come down to the genetic makeup, to the smallest part of each person, it all goes back to a creator. It all goes back to we all come from one. And somehow all of this division, and it's looking more obvious every day, all of this division and stuff is legitimately meant to happen. It's legitimately being manipulated so people will always have a scapegoat instead of pointing the finger and sending that energy toward those who are should be held accountable and responsible for a lot of this craziness that's going on. And it's sad because the propaganda is good, the brainwashing is good, the the fear that have been stoked in so many. I mean, it's like, come on, man. It's too much stuff going down. It's too many people suffering. It's too many people going through with things. I myself have experienced a lot, even with some of the institutions. They're supposedly supposed to represent people and supposed to be there to, and it seems like that all they're doing is bringing forth more confusion, more anxiety, more instability. It's like people, and you can't blame the people, the actual workers. I mean, some you can. They just you have some who legitimately value their work ethic. They treat people with respect, and the job that they do, they treat with respect, and when trying to handle business with someone, but with others, they don't care. It's all like everybody's, like a paycheck. And it's like sometimes motherfucker gotta get off of that high horse or that supposed high horse and look at shit from a different perspective, from a different viewpoint, from a different vantage point. And this may be the point where you get to see things from a full spectrum that was being missed um, at the other point where a person was at. And you begin to see things differently. These folks, and I'm speaking for myself. I mean, I'm pretty sure whether you resonate on some or all or don't resonate on, it's something there that's gonna hit you every or have been hit you every day. Is why is all this stuff all of a sudden happening? Why is all this? Why does it seem like nothing is getting better? Everything's getting worse. Why does it seem like it's more push for war and not only war but nuclear war that destroy everybody? Why is there all of a sudden all of these incidents with food processing places and all these disturbances with the grids and power stations and substations? Why is it all this stuff going on with infrastructure, train tracks, and all this stuff? I mean, when you look at it, it's a lot of stuff that a lot of people really have not paid attention to or really focused on because of all the other gaslighted conversations. A lot of people haven't been paying attention about the infrastructure. We haven't. I can speak for myself. We haven't cared about where they claim the tax dollars were going to. And then when you bring up certain stuff, the whole deal is we don't have the money because we in this much of a deficit. But every time it goes toward war or toward the benefit of another a whole nother country, and not even I mean even with dealing with stuff that got shady circumstance around it, it will always be the opposite instead of those that supposedly need to be aided and assisted by their own government and the people within that government. It's sad how they treated Ohio. And the sad thing about it now that some of the government officials are involved, they want to make it seem like they've been up on it all along and all, because people got on their behinds, started calling them out. Why are y'all around here talking about stuff that makes no sense when you see this go down with a Ghostbuster chemical cloud in the air over an area? Y'all acting like trying to play that down. Come on, man. They don't care. And people should see this and all of the aspects of what's been going on. They're showing it's almost like these institutions are pushing people to not care about themselves or others to a point where when it comes to infringing. And that's sad. Then when this whole thing about the UFOs, the balloons, and all this stuff, man. I mean, when in have you in your lifetime have you heard them speak on UFOs, whether it was real, whether it was not, whether it was fake, whether it wasn't, whether it was a hoax, however it go? When have you heard them speaking on that language, UFOs? I mean, in this much in the past, hell, I'm 48, so say 30 years. I know when I was in high school, you barely heard it. When you did hear it, it was automatically brushed back. You know, oh, that's just hearsay. Didn't happen. You know, and now it's like it's almost now it's like what? I can't believe how and I heard some people make the comparison and they're right. You hear them speaking of UFOs more now than they did you did back in the 40s when Roswell and all of this other sightings and landings or crash UFO crashes that supposedly happened. I say supposedly because many may not believe. I do believe it happened. But why? Why now? Why is it now such? Why now is it such a okay time now to just converse about UFOs or willy nilly? And even though they may be lying about what really went down, I believe me personally, whatever they shot down could have been. They lie about so much stuff, but me personally, I wouldn't think that highly advanced craft would allow something tinker toy like that jet, you know, to take it out like that, unless it wasn't a craft like that. It was more like a drone or more like a observation. Never know. But the mess that they created out of that, the fear and all this other stuff, and you go in and you look up about they've been had spy balloons everywhere, all over this country, even admitted to having spy balloons on their own citizens, and they play with people's emotions and gaslight while they continue to rob people, lie to people, uh, distort facts, come with hypocritical viewpoints, say one thing, you know, to make certain people smile and shuffle their feet to it in one area, and then say a totally nothing, something totally different on the other opposite end to appeal to another different crowd, milking both. You know, that's the basic moves that's going on. Period with the systems at play, with the cabal and with these secret groups and these orders. Man, people gotta understand. If you really think that this government or any government is really in charge of what's going on, then why? You know, the question would be, why are they focusing more on what is dividing and bringing more conflict and confusion than what can bring peace or what can help bring better understanding amongst people? But for first most, bring peace. Second, bring uh, equity, because we know that so many don't want to give up on supporting those, or they may be in that group themselves that just live off the backs of others. You know, they tell lies, they do this, they do that, and you end up getting uh, in the long run, you end up getting effed over, you know, through policies or whatever that they're putting out here to seem like they keep their foot on people's neck. And the lower down the pay scale and skills you, yeah, the more you suffer. And but nobody is exempt. Everybody is feeling it. And that's the sad part. So it's, you know, I had to get over here and just share that. I was like, do anybody see? I mean, I know everybody else. I know I gotta be, and I hear and I see people talking, even in the communities, dealing with conspiracies and dealing with different things, because a lot of it I resonate on a lot of it. It's so much stuff that they don't want people to know, especially dealing with history and dealing with the truth of humanity and, you know, our origins. What are we? You know, all this stuff. What was the, the purpose of certain things? A lot of this knowledge they keep. They know this stuff, man. They know this stuff, and me personally, I believe that they use this against us, and why they keep us all going at it. When all we need to do is come together and focus on living like the ancestors used to live before a lot of that tyranny and a lot of that madness came in that caused division. But live in the same spiritual standpoint as the early our early predecessors who were spiritual, who were in tune with everything, and that's how I look at it. And the more people stay disunited and divided, man, the more all this death and all this culture of violence, all this mess, they feed off of this stuff. It's energetic beings feed off of all that negative stuff. And it's like we just kept and stagnated in this. We're not moving, progressing forward. People say that all they want to, but ain't no progression. Why? Because they put up a couple of skyscrapers that may fall when the first earthquake or a slight tremor happened because they're not doing shit properly or not in the code like it should be. Just profit over safety and people. Hell, you got structures that have been up over 100 years or more. That's or thousands of years. That's supposedly that's still standing with no issue, and you got this stuff now that's falling over, and they just put this stuff up. It's sad, man. So I wonder if people are feeling the same way. Do you really think that this government is doing? Look at what this country has as the supposed commander in chief, falling up plane steps, falling down, falling over here, falling there, barely knowing damn well. And I look at like, man, your family should be ashamed, not because all of the political rhetoric because you turn up the country or whatever. Now that's a different story. But you should be ashamed of the fact that you even would allow your relative in that state, in the condition, to even be put in that situation. Because everybody in their right mind know this man is not running nothing, except for those that continue to be in that la la land. Everybody in their right mind know this cannot be the president. To me, that's embarrassment. And people in other countries, when they look at this, they laughing. And they're saying, damn, something got to be up. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave with that. People, come on now. And we gotta see through this, and people gotta get together and my bad, gotta come to a cohesive understanding amongst all the people in across the planet. But here, it's just a whole different story when you have so much distrust, so much hatred, so much stuff that has been gaslit for so many years with really no consequential solutions, just the same old stuff to kind of push people further back. And no props to those that able to bring people together and piece people together. But these folks, man, the institutions aren't for that. They're not trying to create unity, no matter how much these folks claim. It's all about profit over humanity. Whoever the humanity is, it doesn't matter if you're white humanity, black humanity, Asian humanity. It doesn't matter. That's what's going down. And I just had to share that. If somebody else feels the same way, you can hit me up or whatever. But I don't know. It's times to see between the lines and see what's really happening and understand that this could be the time in which is needed for all this stuff to collapse and be done with and create something else new that's better, that's more sustainable, that's more beneficial, not only to the earth, but to the people that's living on it. I don't understand how a motherfucker would think that you can still continue to tear up the same thing you live on. That's not going to make sense. Oh, we just push it, we just deal with it. But then, you know, when they co-opt that whole climate stuff and then act like they give a damn, but then they doing shit trying to cover up oil spills, this stuff that just happened in Ohio, you don't hear none of the climate people, none of them, not even the little girl, Greta Thunberg, not even none of them has spoken on it. But any other little incident they out there, man, it's all about profit. All these actors and stuff, man. This is how I see it. But I pray that everybody continue to keep moving and that the creator continue to be safe and continue to be enlightened, come across information. Look, I've been doing my best researching stuff and doing stuff from what I have available in resources that I can get a hand to, because it's a wonderful thing to begin to have a better understanding of the world that we've been living in, that a person has been living in, just never had that understanding until you really open up to some truth. And a lot of them are playing out right before us. So peace and love to everybody. Um, if you feel like I feel, hey, just hit me up, let me know. But it is crazy out here, but we have the ability to overcome it because we have the bloodline of our ancestors. We are connected to so much, and this is the main reason they don't want us to unlock them connections. So with that, I greet you as I came in universal words of peace.